Hello neighbors, it's Brad here at eTrailer, and I'm with Kyler from Torklift. One of the benefits of being here at eTrailer is we get a lot of manufacturers coming in, showing us our products that we have here at eTrailer and breaking it down for us a little bit more. And what we have today is going to be turnbuckles for your in-bed campers. And if you already have an in-bed camper or you're looking to get one, Torklift is going to be a name that comes up, and for good reason. You guys create a lot of the mounting points for this to happen, and the turnbuckles are going to be what holds that in place. So what exactly does a turnbuckle do?
Yeah, so in short form, a turnbuckle is going to actually keep that beautiful truck camper you have on your truck. So you'll do the frame mount tie downs, which will basically create an anchor on the frame of your truck. The turnbuckle actually attaches the anchor of the truck to the truck camper's anchor points. So
that way you're attaching to the frame of the truck, and it's kind of sandwiching that in, but it's not putting that much pressure on the bed, correct?
Exactly. And if I'm able to use this in the video, you can actually see the anchor here and your turnbuckle here. Now there's a lot of different ways you can attach point A to point B, and I'll go over the different ways that you can attach it. So I'll start from the bottom. You have a good, better, and best solution. I'll go over the top selling option that a lot of these RVers are gravitating towards for good reason as well. So this is called the Fastgun. Now, if there was a customer that was asking questions about, well, what system makes sense for me, I would say 99% of the time they're going to want to go with the Fastgun long range. And I say long range because it's practically universal, and it's adjustable from 25 inches to 43 inches. So 99% of the time it's going to work with your truck camper and truck combination, right? And so what makes the Fastgun so unique and great, there's a quick disconnect handle here. So this can be overlooked, but if you set up your truck camper in your truck and you're going down the road, most of the time when you're going camping, you're going far away from home. And so if that turnbuckle is covering your gas cap, instead of having to undo your entire system at the gas pump, you can use that quick disconnect handle, and you can, get in and out of there as quick as possible. Now, the reason this was created was because we actually, way back when, there was a customer who had arthritis, and it was really difficult for her to actually tension that turnbuckle properly. So we created the Fastgun turnbuckle, which makes it very simple to actually attach and detach this system. This comes 2 per box, so you'll want a total of 4, so quantity 2 out of whatever Fastguns you're getting. And again, you have 2 systems here. You have a threaded rod, which is again adjustable from 25 to 43 inches, and you have your Fastgun base here. Now, all the Torklift turnbuckles, with a couple exceptions, but for the most part, they're going to be a spring-loaded system. Now, the reason you want a spring-loaded turnbuckle, and I'll go over the different spring-loaded options that we'll cover, but for this case, I'll talk about the Fastgun. The reason you want a spring-loaded system is because if you're mounting to the frame, which is what you're going to want to do with the Torklift system, you need that shock absorbing effect, because if you're mounted to the solid surface of the frame, if you go over a pothole or something big, you can start putting a lot of pressure on the anchor points of your camper here. So with that spring there, it really gives it the movement that is required for a frame mounted system. Now, truck camper manufacturers, they recommend 300 pounds of pressure, and so with the Fastgun system and its indicator washer that comes on that threaded rod, it will show you that you want 300 pounds, and it will show you by a 1/4 inch of movement. Once you tension down, what's going to happen, you tension down that handle, that spring is going to start compressing, and you'll see that spring move a 1/4 of an inch by that indicator washer, and that means there's 300 pounds on that anchor.
Makes sense. And just this visual here with the Fastgun, as he mentioned before, here we have the Torklift frame mounts, and that attaches to our in-bed camper, and we can see the gas door is right there, and that's one of those issues you run into when you're out on the road. You don't think about that until it happens, so it's nice that you can just take off your linchpin, unlinch that with just the handle there, make it nice and easy, and you can fill up.
Yeah. Going down to the better option here is the Spring Load XL. The reason you'd want to go with that is it's a little bit less expensive a price point, and the reason for it is you're actually removing the handle, so you do have to still physically move that barrel, but again, it's still going to do exactly what you need by properly securing that truck camper.
As far as the basic spring load, I see that up there. What is a normal application, or why would someone go with that?
Right, so all 3 options are great for its purpose, which is keeping that truck camper on your truck. Now, the reason you go with basic is it's in the title. It's basic. You know, maybe you don't need all the quick disconnect, all the adjustability, and so convenience isn't something you're necessarily worried about. This will get the job done, and it will get it done at a cheaper price point, right? So that's really why. Again, I always recommend going with the biggest and baddest because that's what, you know, most people end up getting in the end. But yeah, if you're looking for just getting the job done, yeah, go with the basic spring load. Or if you want a little flair to it, go with the spring load XL. It's really, when you go to basic and fast gun, it just gets easier and easier as you go setting up that camper.
So what are some of the most common questions that you get from people out on the road that are using your systems?
Yeah, absolutely. So when you're looking at Torklift turnbuckles, how do you know that the angle is proper? So there's always going to be a goal, and then every truck and truck camper is different, so you can't always get that every single time. But what I would say is the goal when you get that truck camper onto the back of your truck, you want if you're looking at the side profile of the truck, your turnbuckles, you're going to want to be the tops of them to be pointing towards each other. So the front of the truck is pulling the camper towards the front, and the rear is pulling the camper towards the rear. So you're getting a great coverage of tension, if that makes sense. The other thing is when you're buying your fast guns, it's going to come kitted. You're going to have your base, and then you're going to have a threaded rod. The reason it's a threaded rod is because this is how you're going to be able to have that adjustable turnbuckle from 25 to 43 inches, right? And so you'll also have a hardware kit that will consist of a few different components, but most importantly, you're going to see a square nut that gets attached onto the threaded rod once you start assembling your fast gun. So you can actually watch it very simply here. You just put the threaded rod into the barrel, and it's going to be able to poke up through the top of this fast gun, right? So again, make sure you refer to your instruction manual that this is properly set up, but for demonstration purposes, I'm just going to start putting that threaded rod, or sorry, putting the square nut on the threaded rod. All right, so we'll start looking like this. You can see that the threaded rod is going to start. Now, like I mentioned before, there is a spring built into the barrel here, and now that I put that square nut on, it's going to keep the threaded rod attached to the barrel. A lot of neighbors will ask, how do I know if my fast gun is properly set up? Well, when you get this movement, that's okay. A lot of customers will see that movement and think that maybe there's something wrong with the product. That is just the square nut moving up and down the barrel of the fast gun. So when you go to the bottom, you know, a lot of customers say, well, I can't really move it. I can't feel the spring. This is a very heavy-duty spring. You're probably not going to move it with your hand, right? So we recommend, again, 300 pounds of pull-down pressure. That's a lot. You're probably not doing that with your hand, right? So when you set it up and you start pulling down on that lever, you'll start to see with the indicator washer the movement of the spring. But when you can do this, it's going to be loud, but there's nothing wrong with the fast gun. It's supposed to do that.
So it has a lot of adjustability as far as height, but is that going to cover every fit out there, or do you have to get a specific kit for specific trucks?
That's a great question. So the fast gun capabilities is adjustable to different lengths, but there are two types of fast guns. There's the fast gun long range, and there's the fast gun short range, which we call the fast gun 45. And the difference is basically the adjustability in here. So with the fast gun, you get, again, 25 to 43 inches, and then with the fast gun short range, it's around 14 inches, and then that's kind of the shortest it will go. And where you'll see that application is if you're putting a truck camper on like a flatbed or something similar, that's where you don't need as much length as the fast gun long range.
Makes sense?
Yeah.
Huge thanks to Kyler from Torklift for breaking down turnbuckles for us and kind of giving us a little bit more understanding. That way we're getting the right product for our camper out on the road.
Yeah, absolutely. It's so great to be here and be a part of what you guys are doing. You guys do a great job.
Thank you.